For me, the top 3 benefits for outsourcing Cashroom are that it saves me a lot of time. I find it really good value for money in terms of what I would have to pay to have my own dedicated cashier. And I think it's a really efficient way to deal with Cashroom as well. Yes, I would say that outsourcing is a big part of my business model. As I say, I've set up to focus on doing family law work, and the client work, that's the bit that I enjoy. I am on my own. I have one member of staff, so we don't have a huge team. So we don't have the time and the capacity really to have everybody trying to do everything. So I've outsourced my Cashroom function and case management to Denovo. I've outsourced other areas as well to other local businesses. So that includes HR support, even things like my website, PR. So yeah, it's a big part of my business model. I think there are definite benefits to law firms or lawyers who are thinking about going out on their own to seriously consider outsourcing. I think when I was starting the process, I assumed wrongly that a lot of these services would be cost prohibitive, especially starting from scratch. But actually, when I started looking into it, I've been really pleasantly surprised to find that you can deliver a similar service to a larger firm, but in a very cost efficient way, and it ultimately frees up your time. I think there are definite benefits to law firms or lawyers who are thinking about going out on their own to seriously consider outsourcing. I think when I was starting the process, I assumed wrongly that a lot of these services would be cost prohibitive, especially starting from scratch. But actually, when I started looking into it, I've been really pleasantly surprised to find that you can deliver a similar service to a larger firm, but in a very cost efficient way, and it ultimately frees up your time. I think as lawyers, we need to embrace technology. I think if we stand still and think that it's not for us, that's a real risk. There are so many different technologies that we can use in our practice to make our jobs easier and the process for clients easier as well. Things like going paper-free. I know it's not for everybody, but I think the pandemic has shown us that there's a real positive to working that way. I personally split my time between my office and my home office. I don't need to carry huge bulky files around. Everything's basically on my laptop through the cloud. So that's one example of technology working. In terms of outsourcing, we do have a finite amount of hours in the day, and it's, from a business point of view, more profitable if we can spend that on client work and not compliance and admin. But from a client's point of view, they don't want to think of their lawyer, not working on their case because they're tied up in Cashroom procedures and law society compliance. There are certain aspects we can't get away from, particularly law society compliance, but there are areas we can outsource to make our jobs more efficient.